So we're going to talk about the brain, and as far as we can tell, we're the only species on the planet that has grown so sophisticated that we've thrown ourselves headlong into this game of deciphering our own programming language. And what happens when we look under the hood to figure out what's happening under here is that we find the most complicated thing we have ever found in the entire universe. So the human brain consists of about 10 billion neurons. Neurons are the specialized cell types in the brain, and every single neuron in your brain is about as complicated as New York City. Every single neuron has the entire human genome in it. It's trafficking millions of little molecules and proteins around in very complicated interactions, and you've got tens of billions of these. So you can see it's an extremely complex system, and in fact, every neuron is connected to about 10,000 other neurons that it communicates with. And so if you look at the number of connections in there, you have hundreds of trillions of connections. And what that means is that if you were to just take a little tiny chunk of brain tissue like this, there are as many connections in there as there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy. So we're talking about an incredibly complex system. The interesting part, the reason we care, is because somehow this system is us. And what I mean by that is that all of your hopes and your dreams and your fears, your aspirations, all of that is contained in this 3 pounds of wet biological stuff. Now, how do we know that's true? How do we know that it's not contained in your pinky, for example? Well, the answer is, if you were to damage your pinky in an accident, you would be sad about that. But you wouldn't be any different as a person. But if you were to damage an equivalently sized piece of brain tissue, that can change you entirely. That can change your decision making, or your capacity to see colors, or name animals, or understand music, or to simulate possible futures and think about those. These and 100 other things change when the brain changes, and that's how we know, over hundreds of years of careful observation, that really this is the densest representation of you. This is where you exist. Your thoughts, your dreams, what you believe in, the choices you make, the actions that you take, all of that is contained in the brain, because when that changes, you change as well.